everybody, and welcome to the Coach Griffin Show. I'm Caleb Hutchins. Alongside me, Flowery Branch head coach Chris Griffin. After the Falcons' 35-16 loss to the Heritage Patriots last week, Coach, it was sort of a strange game in a lot of ways. But what did you see as some of the biggest factors in the loss?
Still making mistakes. Obviously, offensively, we're not protecting the ball, not making good decisions. Another thing that I think people on the outside realize is we've got three of our preseason starting offensive linemen out. One of them for the year, one of them for another probably 4 to 5 weeks, and then another one that's kind of day to day. But when you lose, in high school, when you lose three of your starting offensive linemen, I know you got to rely on people to come in and fill in, but I'm telling you, it's a tough thing to do in high school football is to replace three offensive linemen. Usually one, sometimes two you can kind of survive with, but three is very difficult. So injuries are kind of biting us right now, but also mistakes. I mean, just not receivers having trouble getting open, us throwing it, us protecting, and still making some mistakes in the penalty category. So we've got to take advantage of opportunities that we've got, and right now we're not doing that.
You talked about protecting the ball. Turnovers were a big problem for the offense in this game. What were some of the causes for some of those turnovers?
Well, obviously, protecting the ball, just carrying it. We're not securing it like we're supposed to. We work on those things every day. We stress it. We try to. The same thing we've always done. Even when the years when we didn't have very many turnovers, we're doing the exact same thing. We just got some guys that's inexperienced, and once again, not making good decisions on how to protect the ball. As far as the interceptions, it's a multitude of reasons. Whether it be protecting them up front. When you got a quarterback that's having to throw a ball and he's got pressure, it's part of it. You got receivers that's got to run the right route. We're not running, doing what we're taught to do as far as the route running. And then the third thing obviously is just being smart on how we actually throw the football itself and where to put the ball based on where the coverage is, and we're just across the board not making good decisions and executing our passing game. And that's got to get fixed, or teams are going to continue to load the box and force us to have to throw it. And so until we learn how to do that, we're going to probably see the same result.
First two games, the preseason scrimmage and the season opener, the offense was able to move the ball fairly well, and struggled in the last 2 weeks. What does the offense need to do to get back on track?
Well, it's different competition. The first thing, against Mountain View, it was a scrimmage. They weren't going to show their height on some things, and then you got Chester T who's down as well. It's so it's hard to compare. That's not necessarily apples to apples. When you get into the region, people are going to play to win. We play two very good teams, regardless of what people think. Based on the record, Lanier and Heritage were two very good football teams, and we're still young at some spots, and there's just some things, some growing pains that we're trying to work through. But once again, it's our kids are still giving us good effort, and we're working at it. Good things are going to happen if we continue to just try to do the right things and continue to try to improve in those areas.
It was the most points you've given up in a game yet this season. However, Heritage did have a defensive touchdown and some other things. But how did you feel about the way the defense played overall?
Overall, they're giving us a chance to win. That's what you want your defense to do, is to give you opportunities. I think they had 12 out of the 17 drives for 3 and outs. So you can look at the score and assume what you want. But if you're there, the defense gave the offense many opportunities to keep it in the, give us a chance, and that's what you want your defense to do. We're playing a lot of guys both ways, which makes it tough. But there again, at this point, we got to get our best players on the field, and those defensive guys are our better players, and so we're gonna have to find a way to utilize them. So I'm proud of those guys. I think they're playing football the way it's supposed to be played right now. We'll get it all together soon enough.
How does the team turn around after a 2-game losing streak to open region play? How does the team sort of get the momentum back?
Do the things right. Do what you're coached to do. It's once again, we've made mistakes that are extremely fixable. Whether it be just not knowing who to block, or not knowing the route to run, or not knowing coverage. So we've got to communicate. On the field, we've got to execute what we've been taught to do. Stick to fundamentals. These kids know how to win. They know what it takes. It's just been one of these things where if it can happen bad, it happened bad. But everything is fixable. Everything is, other than the injuries. I wish we could just rub some magic dust on them and get some of those guys back. But but as far as the things that the guys on the field that are getting it done, those things are fixable. We're addressing them, and it's just a matter of us getting out and executing Friday night.
Cedar Shoals, another team you're familiar with. You're going to their place. What do you see in them, and what are some of the keys to this game?
They're, as always, they're athletic. They're physical. They move the ball on people. They're scoring some points, playing good defense at times. But they're in a similar situation as we are. They've lost a couple close games, and they've had opportunities to win and are making some mistakes. So it's a matter of us capitalizing on their mistakes and hopefully us eliminating or drastically reducing our mistakes so they can't capitalize on those. So it's going to be a tough game. No game at this point forward is going to be one that we can look past or take lightly.
All right, well, Coach Griffin, thank you once again for coming on. Now, once again, time for our Player of the Game segment. Player of the Game this week, linebacker Cole Ford. Game segment. Our player of the game this week, inside linebacker Cole Ford. Cole, what did you see as some of the biggest reasons for the loss?
Well, our offense didn't take opportunities that the defense gave them, and we had a couple of 5 big plays that really just cost us the game.
How did you feel about the defensive performance overall?
We had a pretty good defensive game. We just need to stop the third down conversions that they had. They had 3, cost us the game.
Back-to-back losses now. How does the team rebound after 2 tough losses like
We
that?
just got to come back stronger and be prepared.
What is your take on Cedar Shoals as you get ready to play them, and what are some of the keys for that game?
They have a bunch of athletes, and we just got to stop the screens, and they're the biggest players.
All right, well, Cole Ford, thank you for coming on. Falcons travel to Athens to take on the Cedar Shoals Jaguars.